Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, September 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts, how they can be used as a tool to make good decisions, then this will be a video for you. Also, real quick, before I get started, I am offering a free live class on Thursday, so I want to personally invite you to get signed up. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you're wanting to learn more about the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up. If you're watching on YouTube, then down in the description box, there is a link, or if you're watching at my site, claytrader.com, there's going to be a link right on the webpage that you can click on to get signed up. So like I said, just keep that in the back of your mind, and if you like what you see as I go through, then I want you to get signed up. First one here, ticker symbol MRIN, a blast from the past. Depending on how long you've been involved in the markets, this one should at least be in some sort of area of your brain because this one went on a monster move a few months ago, and now it's back with good solid volume here. But what I like about this setup is it's very well defined. So neither of these areas that I'm about to draw am I trying to come across as some sort of great discovery on my part or that I have some sort of special talent. The exact opposite. I assure you, people that use charts, understand charts, are going to be watching these exact same levels. And I say all that because when a lot of people around the world are watching the same levels, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And I'm telling you, every breakout player and their brother or uncle is going to be watching this area right up here at $9.55. Now, are there guarantees? There are not guarantees, but my point here is it at least a valid, is it at least a rational thought that if the price can come up here and get the break through that level, that could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure? Absolutely. So again, not guaranteed to happen, but by no means is that some sort of random area on the chart. I mean, it makes good sense to be focused on that area from the breakout standpoint. And then as far as, where the buyers hanging out at, very clear that this pullback point right there around $8.50, you can see came into play not once but twice, and both times held strong. So in my mind, those are the two main levels that, like I said, people from around the world are watching. Long, shorts, everybody in between. So if you keep an eye on those couple levels, like I said, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. There could definitely be some dynamic movement because, yeah, as of now, the price is just channeling. So the big question here moving forward is which way is the price going to ultimately break? We'll see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol AEMD, and basically a case of deja vu here. So I'm going to keep this one very short and to the point because, I'm not going to try to repeat myself, but same exact premise of what we just looked at with MRIN. Good solid volume, prices now pulled back, and some well-defined areas that people around the world are going to be watching. So what are these areas? So along the lines of self-fulfilling prophecies or whatever you want to call it, first key level where the buyers very clearly stepped up a couple of times. Like I said, just like MRIN, not once, but twice, right down there around $4.75. So that's certainly going to be a key level of support here moving into Thursday. And then as far as, the level that I think a whole lot of breakout players will be watching, right up there around that area at $5.30. So again, same exact premise. Which way does the price go? No guarantees in that regard, but it's more than valid, more than rational to think that whether the price makes a move there or there, that could definitely create quite a bit of, price movement. So that's where the big question comes into play. So almost identical setups here, headed into the, the next day. But hey, sometimes that's just how trading goes. You're running scans and saying, well, geez, that looks very similar to that one. And when there's big volume like these two have had, you got to keep an eye on them. So Thursday certainly going to be a very interesting day for both of these stocks. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, did this in yesterday's top 10 video. And the part that stood out to me the most was that apparently that green line there, which I talked about in the previous top 10 video, truly does have good solid support behind it. You just can't make this stuff up. Now, if you've never watched one of my videos, I understand that I could be just a complete stranger to you. And you think, well, Clay, you probably put that line in there right before you started recording. And I understand that. But all I'll say is, hey, all you got to do is go back in the video archives and you can watch the past videos. And I don't say any of this to pat myself on the back. I say it, though, to pat technical charts on the back. They truly are a great tool to use. Again, nothing's perfect. But like I said, look at where it bounced off. Quite literally right at that green line, which I talked about in the previous day's video. But point here being is good to see that this area does seem to have quite a few buyers down there. So at this point, while you can't call it, a guaranteed area of support, right down here around 37.70, it's certainly going to be a level where apparently if the bears are going to make any sort of, further momentum to the downside, then they're going to have a big battle here with the bulls because the bulls have once again held strong at that area. So keep an eye on that from the support side of things. As far as areas of resistance, yes, from the overarching standpoint, you still have 44, but really I don't want to say it doesn't matter because that's not true, but it's not really too relevant right now, because the main relevant area is all about that purple line right there, the very famous, the very well-known 50-period moving average, and we'll just call that at $40.90. So yes, again, $44 is the level of resistance. It does matter, but you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. One hurdle at a time, and that first key hurdle is definitely all about that purple line there, which is the big question mark moving forward, is can the price ultimately break above it and stay above it? We'll see what happens, but if it can, then at that point, it's more than realistic to think that the price has a great chance to get up there and at least do battle with 44. But overall, a good solid day. Next one here, ticker symbol LCID, and this one finally showed that it is human. I mean, it had just been going up and up and up for the past several days, and finally did pull back. A very cruel move, though. I mean, when you look at how things played out, and I should have noted earlier, but these are the 30-minute candles I'm using. So 30-minute time frame, just meaning that each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes of time. Point being, opening 30 minutes, you can see the price actually got the break up through that level, and then pulled just a nasty, hey, just kidding for all you that bought the breakout, and then down it went. So this all is a matter of perspective, meaning if you're a breakout player and you bought right there and your plan was to, get that thing get that thing much higher because it was breaking out, well then yeah, from that angle, the chart looks terrible. However, if you care about more of a bigger picture point of view, then even with the pullback today, as cruel as it was, I mean, the overall trend, as you can see here, is still clearly plenty in the upwards direction. I mean, and just to really illustrate this, and I'm not saying it'll occur, but I mean, if you stop and think about it, the price could come all the way down here to 23.50, bounce around, and I mean, what would you have if the price, kept on pulling back? Well, you'd still have a set of lows there, you'd have lows there, lows there, lows there, lows there, and if you envision those as stair steps, you'd still have big picture stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. Again, 100%. Understand that if you're a breakout player and you bought right there, you don't care about these stair steps. So this comment is definitely being geared more so towards those of you that have a bigger picture viewpoint. So yeah, brutal breakdown today on the fake break. But from the grand scheme of it is, the price does still have plenty of opportunity to ultimately chip away and build a higher base. So let's see if the price at minimum can stay above 23.50 moving forward. Next one here, ticker symbol ONTX. And I like this one just because it's got a very, very nice pattern here. Well-defined, so right along those lines of self-fulfilling prophecy. But again, I'm not trying to proclaim that this pattern here is some great discovery on my part. I assure you people that use charts, understand charts, have noticed this pattern. So let's get right into what this pattern is. First part of it is just the resistance portion of it. And you can see that, yeah, over time, the price has struggled, every time it's made a move upwards, which has allowed me to draw that downtrending trend line. And then on the flip side of things, in fact, let's just do this to keep the pattern as pretty as possible. We have a very well-defined area of support, which sits right down here at $5, and what is that? Let's see. Yeah, $5.85. And in fact, let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish part of the pattern, the support. And then to just make this the easiest to see, let me just make this all one color. So again, we have the resistance area right there. We have the support portion right there. And then this would be known as the pull portion of it. Then if I put a golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visually friendly for you golfers out there, we have what would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So the big question moving forward within this bull pennant, now let me be very clear, just because it's a bullish pattern doesn't mean that for sure the price is going to move upwards. However, is it valid? Is it rational to think that the price could eventually get continuation to the upside? Yeah, that's more than valid. That's more than a rational thought to be having. But that is the big question mark moving forward, is who is ultimately going to win out of the pattern? Are the bears going to actually win out and push the price downwards, or the bulls going to win out, with the move to the upside? That's the big question mark moving forward. But all in all, gotta love the volume today, gotta love the volatility. And at the end of the day, you gotta like the pattern here that's formed. So not just a question of can the bulls get the breakout of the bull pennant pattern. Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol WIMI, and this is all based around the fact that this is a pretty ugly looking chart right now, looking pretty sketchy. I mean, you had the big move up, and now basically since then, it's just been bleeding. But it does bring about the logical question of, okay, is this move overdone? Is this move, okay, yeah, it may seem like it's game over, but it's actually not, because the price is going to ultimately build a higher base and move upwards. That's still completely possible too, which is where this area comes into play and what I would, definitely consider an important level right down there around $3.90. And this is a situation where if you're not good at, honoring risk, if you're not good at honoring stop losses and all that sort of stuff, then you shouldn't even be thinking about these. But if you are, if you're good at honoring those stop losses, know how to manage risk, then this is one of these situations where you have very minimal risk. And if you do, so if the price comes down here and ultimately does consolidate out, and, not even have to reverse back up to above $5, but even a modest bounce, the reward that you would be looking at relative to the risk you're taking is very, very favorable. So if you are somebody that likes to kind of play almost these situations where it seems like it's game over, it seems like it's end of the line, because you have a bunch of people probably losing hope. It's one of those things where, when everybody seems to have lost hope, that's when the market tends to just say, hey, just kidding, and go back up. Once more, is that guaranteed to happen down there at $3.90? Of course not. But is $3.90 some sort of random area? It's absolutely not. It's completely an area that the price could find some support and then create some sort of bounce from that area. So if you do like to play those pullbacks, kind of these situations where it seems like it's the end of the world, it seems like it can't get any uglier, then this is one to keep an eye on. Next one here, ticker symbol ATER. I feel like we've been doing this one almost every single day for the past couple of weeks, but definitely rightfully so on this one. Especially check out the afternoon here. Again, as I mentioned earlier, each one of these represents 30 minutes. So check out the final part of the day, specifically the last 30 minutes of the day. Absolute beast move volume-wise, and got a very, very solid breakout. So in other words, the uptrend continues, and updates certainly need to be made here. So first level to watch now from the pullback perspective, which was actually the area of resistance, but just foundational technical analysis. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So if there is any sort of pullback, 1565 is going to be that level right there on that. If like I said, if the price does want to, pull back a bit more, if you're really saying, nah, Clay, I'd like to be a little bit more high maintenance, I would like to see even more of a pullback. Then another very interesting area from that angle would be down there at the $14 mark. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, so where is this breakout potentially going to have some issues at? And that would be right up here, give or take, right around that $18 mark, which you can see here. The price has struggled before. Doesn't mean that the price will for sure struggle again. Again, there are no guarantees, but is it at least valid, is it at least rational to say, you know what, I'm not quite sure. Is the price going to be able to push through that area? Completely rational, but it's also an interesting area to watch if you like to play, momentum breakouts and stuff like that. But anyway you look at it, the price continues to grind higher and higher, and as long as this one keeps on putting those higher highs and higher lows, that's the name of the game. Next one, our good friend CEI. And overall, not a good day at all for a couple reasons. The first reason, just simply, it did break down below that area of support. Now, the good news is at least the price did find some support at that trend line there, which again, the power of charts, drew that trend line in there several days ago, and you can see did a fantastic job of forecasting where the price, potentially could, find some, buying, which has happened right now. But that is also where the big question comes into play. Is this trend line going to hold? Or is this just a temporary pause before the bears resume their push down through that area? And if that occurs, then again, no guarantees, but in my opinion, at least, it becomes more than valid, more than rational to think that that $1.27 mark, that pink line down there, which is a 200 period moving average, could very well come into play. So yeah, this level right here has been destroyed. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Now, like I said, the big question mark is all about that trend line. Can it hold? Again, to give credit where credit's due, so far so good. The price is holding strong at that trend line, but if it doesn't hold and it breaks below it, especially if it's a high volume break, then yeah, this thing enters into quite a bit of, kind of no man's territory until the price gets down around that 200 period moving average. So not a good day at all. But like I said, if you want to try to look at the glass as being half full, well, at least the price is respecting that trend line. But let's see if that respect continues into Thursday. Next one, ticker symbol GOTU. Fantastic movement today. Gotta love the fact that the volume came pouring in. Price behaved very nicely with it. And then maybe the best part about this is the price pulled back here. And why do I say that? Well, as I've said in many past videos, if you're somebody that's kind of always worried, hopefully I'm not chasing the price, hopefully I'm not suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out, well, then you have no need to fear because the price has pulled back. Now, there were people that bought right there that were suffering from FOMO, and now they're sitting there, regretting that decision. However, for people observing, you got the pullback here. So whether you're a pullback player or maybe now you just, like to see a little bit of a pullback before buying a breakout, you have both those scenarios in play right now. So from the resistance standpoint, in terms of where the sellers seem to be at, that level is right up there at $3.25. So $3.25 in my mind is going to be that main area of resistance. And then as far as support areas are concerned and pullback levels, which is essentially right where the price bounced off today, $3 is going to be an interesting level in that regard. So again, let me change that to green to represent more of a bullish support area. And in fact, it seems like the number of 2. That's what everything. Like MRIN, and then what was the other one? AEMD. Those both had a couple different tests. And right here, well, that level was also tested twice. So $3 is going to be that main area of support, and then up there at $3.25, main area of resistance. So moving into Thursday, just a question of, all right, fantastic movement today. Is this just the start of a much bigger move, a much bigger uptrend? Let's see how it plays out. Next one here, DVax, and very, very impressive movement today. Again, from there all the way up to there, and almost a case of deja vu, but got the pullback here. So same overall premise. If you're worried about chasing or you're suffering from FOMO, you don't have to worry about that anymore because the price has pulled back, which has now made and created a very nice overall pattern here. So again, this pattern here, and I'm just going to kind of draw it, crudely speaking, but this is the pattern that I assure you lots of people are watching. So let me change that to represent the bullish part of it, the support. And then just to keep it all one color again. So there is the resistance, there is the support. That would be known as the pull portion of it. And this would be known as a bull flag pattern. So bull flag pattern doesn't mean that the price is for sure going up like I mentioned earlier. But I mean, is it valid? Is it rational to think that this thing could find some consolidation and then make another move upwards for continuation? That is a more than valid thought process to have. But as always, no guarantees, like I've said a million times, but we'll continue to say, because I want you to understand, this is why risk management matters, because charts, they are super convenient. They are a fantastic tool, but they are not perfect. Nothing is perfect. So yes, it's valid to think that a breakout could, come into play here, but certainly not guaranteed. So keep an eye on those stop losses and risk management protocols that you should have in your strategy. But overall, you got to like the fact that massive move up. Now it's pulling back. Not just a question of, is this pullback healthy? And if it turns out to be a true healthy pullback, then you could be looking at some, further very solid gains, especially given the fact of how quickly this one's shown and demonstrated today that it can move. So that wraps up the top 10. And again, one final time, I just want to personally invite you that if you did enjoy what you just saw, you want to learn more about the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then the class will be, like I said earlier, Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely get signed up for it, and you'll learn just that much more about, why this tool works great, how it can be used, how it should be used, how it should not be used, and a whole lot more. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoyed these videos and you would like for me to continue to make the top 10s, then please communicate that to me by hitting the like button and leaving a basic comment, even if it's just saying hi, a number, a ticker symbol that you traded today, or maybe you're watching for tomorrow. But hitting the like button and then leaving a basic comment below communicates to me that you enjoyed these videos. And as long as I know that people enjoy them, then I have no problem at all continuing to make them, and as they do require quite a bit of time and effort. But yeah, I don't have any problem doing the time and effort as long as, like I said, I know people are enjoying. So communicate that to me by hitting the like button and leaving a comment below. And again, if you want to learn more about technical analysis and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the class. All in all, thank you for hanging out, and hopefully you all had a great one.